Hey guys, welcome back. So before I get right into the video, I want you guys to do one thing after this video. I just want y'all to think in depth about what I talked about in today's little talk. Some of you might not take this seriously, but I do genuinely believe this topic is something that by far should have been mentioned by now. I think it is by far the most important topic to talk about in terms of TF2. I'm talking about the big picture. So if I can borrow a few minutes of your time today, I think I'll be able to open your eyes to a topic bigger than anyone thought it was. But first, for those who are somewhat new to TF2, a quick debrief of the game I think is in order. So Team Fortress 2 is an ancient game. How ancient? Well, the definition being something older than 2500 years ago isn't quite 2007-esque. Since TF2 was released in 2007 and original variants and constructs being older, TF2 has gained popularity at a fairly rapid pace. That is, until the class-based shooters started rolling in. TF2 could be considered the pioneers of class-based shooters. Not only was TF2 one of the first class-based shooters, it was also a solid backbone for the first-person shooter genre. After Call of Duty and Halo set the stage, TF2 was never popularized like those other titles, but remained a spectator to other games and their success. TF2 kinda stayed on the bleachers while everything else got the spotlight. And to the gaming community, TF2 could be considered the invisible backbone to these said genres. Not many people recognize the game at all, and if you go talk to people and ask them if they know what TF2 is compared to any other title, the majority of people won't have a clue, or maybe they will. But that is almost highly unlikely. Now, what if I pose the question, what would happen if TF2 never existed? What if TF2 was never added to the orange box on the Xbox 360 or never made its way to Steam? Considering TF2 isn't a well-known game, many who haven't dedicated their lives to TF2 would probably say there's no effect. But what if I told you it would be? What if it was huge? What if Team Fortress 2 was the beginning of PC gaming in the more casual style? Well, maybe not that big, but TF2 has definitely made its mark on the gaming community. And not just the people who play the game, but also the people who love TF2's many other options opposed to the game itself. And I'll mention that in just a minute. TF2 may not be incredibly popular, but the game is certainly passionate about it. During this period of time, the community is one of the main reasons it receives updates. Except for that one developer who works on it, so thanks to that one guy. But over the years of my experience with TF2, the community is mostly wholesome and caring and honestly quite humorous. The people who play the game truly understand what it's like to know and understand the ins and outs of the game. TF2's reputation is some of the finest of all time, and that's coming from experience. After playing almost any other game, there will most likely be toxicity in its community. And I'm not saying TF2 does not possess any of those qualities, but the difference is insane. I'm not talking about some dude not slurring at you for a record of 5 minutes, but I'm talking about the people who care about you. Mostly, and the people who care about the game. There have been countless times which people have wanted others to get better, helping those who just installed the game. I would say for the most part, the game is honestly quite wholesome, especially with the comedy of the game tying it all together. Not only the community, but also the art style and game mechanics of it all. The art style of TF2 is like none other. There were no other games that replicated TF2's art style. TF2 was completely unique in terms of its art. No other game had it. Other games either had realistic art or incredibly cartoony, and when I mention realistic, I mean close to TF2's release, for example COD and a little bit of Halo. Also TF2's mechanics too. Some not even shape the way they play video games, whether they are intentional or not. TF2 has arguably some of the best video game mechanics when it comes to the first-person shooters, and the obvious one being TF2's unique and distinct 9 classes. The 9 classes essentially have little to no similarities in terms of playstyles and even personalities. And if the game doesn't interest you somehow, then don't worry because TF2 also has comics. That's right, literal comics that are also free to read on the TF2 website, and aren't they something? They go over the entire lore of TF2 in not just an educational way, but also an incredibly funny and humorous way. If you enjoy comics or TF2, go check out the comics online. I could go on and on about TF2's additional mediums, but I'll just list the rest here. TF2 also influenced other developers to make their own class-based shooters, such as Overwatch, which follows the same art style, class-based characters, game modes such as Payload, and of course, team coordination. Paladins also followed suit when they came up with their own hero system, and Apex Legends incorporating the hero shooter into the Battle Royale, which has also never been seen before. TF2 is one of the founding fathers for hero shooters and inspired many developers to incorporate it into their own creations. Not just the hero shooter aspect other games adopted, but also the free-to-play model. TF2 wasn't always free to play when you had to buy it on the orange box for the Xbox 360 back in the day. And so, other games have used the free-to-play model too, all games relying on microtransactions to support developers such as the Battle Pass, weapon skins, character skins, and of course, hats. And a quick side note, hats are one of the biggest parts to TF2, and I mean big. Look at this pie chart. 1/3 is TF2 as a game, the other third is its taunts, and the last third is the hats. There is an article made about TF2 specifically about its economy and its hats. And this isn't just some feed on Reddit or Steam discussions, it's literally a New York Times article. Anyways, where was I? Oh right, a lot of games have adopted TF2's free-to-play style, which is one of the reasons why it was so popular. TF2 also laid the foundation for a competitive scene. Sure, it wasn't as big as Counter-Strike back in the day or League of Legends, but it certainly provided the base blocks for the competitive scene. With tournaments that brought people in from all over the world to play in a high-stakes 6-on-6 game mode with incredibly high skill ceilings, teaching discipline, communication, and the importance of adapting different playstyles. TF2 also was a base model for funny memes, fan art, music, and a lot more. I'm sure we are all aware of the Nope meme, and fun fact, that is literally the engineer from TF2 saying Nope, and the community took that and made that into a meme. TF2 gathered a lot of fan art over the years, and some of it was concept art for different classes. TF2 not only went from the Meet the Team videos, but also created infamous memes like the Heavy is Dead. These memes became a testament of what TF2's culture is like. TF2 in its early stages was updated consistently, maintaining a balance in its weapons and mechanics, as well as some amazing updates that for sure changed the game for the rest of its life. More specifically, the Love and War update, which not only introduced the conga taunt, but also taunts that everyone can join in on, meaning if one person has the taunt, everyone else can do it as well, like the Kazatsuki kick, the conga, Men Robux, and more. The Love and War update was arguably one of the most defining updates for TF2's culture. Some games that weren't created by Valve made references to TF2, a game like the Henry Stickmin collection with several references to the game. TF2 can be considered one of the flagships when it comes to Valve as a company. Sure, it's been neglected, but TF2 arguably shaped Valve into what it is today. Not just the revenue stream, but also its pillars of success. TF2 is one of the greatest achievements Valve has created along with some other titles like Portal, Dota 2, and Half-Life. So in essence, TF2 has been more than just a founding father for a class-based hero shooter. It also provided culture, memes, a strong sense of community that other developers strive for, its free-to-play model, and of course, much more than I've already stated. TF2 may be in a rough shape right now, but so is George Washington, a founding father of the United States. I would say he's in pretty rough shape right now, being dead. But that's not the point. TF2 has supplied the formula for other developers to thrive on and use to make their games successful. But the defining aspect that no other community has is TF2's likable people and community. That's all for today, guys. I want to thank all of you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.